Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about, can I afford to buy an investment property? Well, if you've been poking around real estate investing for a while now and you really want to take the leap in, you probably got the big question in your mind, can I actually afford to do this? Can I afford an investment property? Well, in today's video, that's what we're going to take a look at. We're going to look at what you need to keep in mind when it comes to buying a property, what the financing options are, what you have to do to get lined up for being able to afford one, and if you don't have the cash on hand, how can you still access it and get into a property even if you yourself don't have the money to do it. Stay tuned. All right, the first thing you want to look at when it comes to asking whether you can afford an investment property or not is what kind of property do you want to buy? There are so many different options and so many different price points that you really want to kind of laser focus on one. And that's going to depend a lot on where you're starting from, how much capital you've got access to, and what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. So first things first, figure out what kind of properties do you want to buy? What do you want to get out of it? Do you want to be doing, flips like you see on TV? Flip this house, flip that house. Do you want to be getting cash flow? Do you want to be getting income on a monthly basis instead of just pops of cash from time to time? Do you want to build up a big portfolio of apartments and apartment buildings? What is it that you want to accomplish when it comes to real estate investing? So get focused, first of all, on the kind of properties you want to do. The second thing you want to do is get educated, right? So once you kind of figure out what you want, what your goal is, what you want to accomplish from real estate, next thing is understanding how to do it. What are the ABCs? What are the different pieces of the puzzle that you have to have in place to do a real estate deal, specifically the kind of deals that you want to focus on. So get educated, read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos like this. More importantly, attend local real estate investment clubs or meetups or RIAs and talk to other people who are doing what you want to do. Don't just invest in books and watch videos and stuff online. Actually invest in good training. There are tons and tons of different real estate investment classes, courses, and coaching and mentoring out there. Some are better than others. Again, ask around at your local RIA, but get educated before you dive in. The first investment you should be making is in yourself and in your education. Okay, the next thing you want to take a look at is how much does it actually cost to buy the kind of property that you want to purchase. So you probably understand that there's financing opportunities out there. You probably have to come up with money for a down payment though, but it's much more than that. There are other expenses involved with buying an investment property. Sure, you've got the down payment, but you've also got legal costs, closing costs, in certain cases, realtor commissions, inspections, insurance, renovations, all of these different costs that you might not be super obvious when you're just looking at the deal at first blush. So make sure that you've got a good idea of what it's going to cost all in to get into a deal and plan accordingly. Next thing you want to look at when thinking about how much property can you afford is what are the financing options that are going to be available to you. And again, that's going to depend a lot on the kind of properties you're going to be buying. If you're buying single family homes, chances are, and long-term buy and hold, the first thing you want to look at is traditional financing with a big bank. Okay, that's the least expensive money available. However, they're going to take a very close look at you and your financial situation and your credit worthiness before they loan you the money. Same thing if you're getting into commercial, multifamily type properties. If you can, go to a traditional lender first. It's typically the less expensive money that you can get, but again, they're a lot more persnickety about making those loans. If your situation isn't such that you've got great credit or you're probably not going to qualify, then you might have to start looking at B lenders, hard money lenders, private lenders, joint venture partners, that sort of thing. So really depends on your situation and the kind of properties you're going to be doing. If you're getting into things like flips, you're probably going to have to look at working with hard money lenders because you're going to be in and out of the property quite quickly, and the big banks typically like longer loans. So again, it really depends on you and your situation. Next thing you want to take a look at are what are the market conditions in the area that you want to be buying the property. So you want to make sure that they're kind of in your favor. You want to make sure that you understand what the vacancy rates are, how much supply and demand there are of the kind of properties that you're looking to buy. But don't get scared off if things are a little bit shaky. I mean, at times when the market is in flux, quite often that's where the best opportunities lie. right? So when everybody and their dog is jumping into a market and investing in real estate, that makes properties very, very expensive. On the other hand, when everybody gets a little bit scared and they start selling off, that's where opportunities lie. That's where you can find really motivated sellers. So take a look at what's going on in the market, in the area that you want to buy, and what's going on with market conditions. Next thing you really want to look at when it comes to affordability is how much money do you have versus how much money do other people have? I mean, there's only so much you and I can do under our own financial steam. Sooner or later, bam, we hit that wall, run out of cash, run out of credit, and we can't do any more. That's when we really need to start looking at other people's money. Otherwise, we stall out and we get stuck. On the other hand, when you start tapping into private capital, especially private lenders or joint venture partners, then the world's your oyster. As soon as you dial that in, as soon as you understand how to raise capital, then you aren't limited by how much property you can afford. It's now how much property can your network afford? How much property can your investor group afford? And typically that's a lot more than you by yourself. So join forces with other people. Certainly, yes, you're going to have to share the profits, you're going to have to share the equity, but you're able to create a much bigger pie to share than you ever could just trying to do everything on your own. Now, last but not least, when it comes to how much property can you afford, you also want to keep in mind, what are you planning to do? What is your exit strategy for this property? So if you're planning to get in and out very quickly, you can recycle your own money and do deal after deal that way if you want to. On the other hand, if you're planning on building up a longer term buy and hold type portfolio, then that's where you really need to dial in and start working with other people's money and bring on joint venture partners. So it depends on what your plan is for the property. Now, if you're interested in raising capital and finding private investors, I got the perfect resource for you. It's my book, The Money Partner Formula. You can get it at investortrashingbook.com or just click on the link in the description below.